I want to talk to you also. So your son, who was on the cover, had rashes, other things. So you got him, your other kids tested for lead, their blood. So the tests were high, but when recently you went back to get the test numbers, can you tell people what happened?
Oh yeah, there's pretty much nothing existing of me, Sincere, and my son Kwame in 2015 when we were tested. We were tested at the school by the Michigan Health Department, and we were all tested at the Burton Health Clinic. And there's no records. There's nothing to show me what our test levels was. There's nothing to tell me what we're even anything from 2016 to 2014 is pretty much just not there. The most they have for me is something for 2018. I had 3 kids after 2014. I should have some sort of data, some sort of blood work, some sort of something. It's nothing there. So, when you talk about a cover up and we talk about stuff like this, they've been covering our lead test results up from jump. Once they start saying that it was too many people being tested, we can't keep up with the records. We don't have the capacity to process all of this. What happens to all that stuff? What happened to all our, so nothing now exists at all that had to do with blood levels and what our levels were?
Well, I think that's really alarming for a few reasons. Number one, your kids had high results. So obviously there's a massive settlement going on right now.
Sure.
And residents have to essentially jump through hoops and show that you were affected. So it's interesting to me that coincidentally, the data from 2016, you can't find it. You've reached out to the health department. Nobody has an answer. So how are you supposed to prove that you've been affected if the data is missing?
I pretty much look like a lie to myself. I look like I'm lying because I can't find anything because I don't have anything. But yet I have news clippings and I got articles and I have stuff like, people following me to and from these appointments, but y'all don't have any results. How do you look when I got national media and local media following me and my kids around to these doctor's appointments, and then now I don't have any results? I don't have nothing. From 2015 to 2017, there's nothing there. You can't tell me that I'm crazy when I know for a fact I got a paper trail of news media and myself and people who follow me through social media that know what we went through. So it's heartbreaking to see that they continue trying to cover us up. This money is now in the hands of a lead test that we don't even know what the actual lead test results were. They want to do bone marrow scans on kids. Our kids have been put through enough. Now you want to try to have us prove to you that we were damaged? We were living here. Our kids were consuming the water for 18 months without you knowing. That's enough proof in itself. We shouldn't have to prove lead results and lead tests when we had residents that lived here that were drinking the water way before y'all announced it.
Right. And when you called the health department to find out where are these results, what do they say?
They're giving me the runaround. They're telling me that I need to call this place, and then I go get medical records, and then I got to go to this place. No one's trying to actually tell me where I can find this information or who holds this information or where is it and why is it not here.
And is that making it difficult in terms of the settlement for you?
Constant calls from the lawyers saying that they need this information for me and my kids, and I'm looking at them like, you guys have been there with us from day one. How can you believe that we don't have anything in the system? How can you believe that there's no records of me and my kids actually being tested in the city of Flint? And I know I'm not the only one. I'm just the only one who's willing to speak up and speak out about it, because enough is enough. We shouldn't have to keep going through what we're going through to be compensated or to hold somebody accountable. We shouldn't have to jump through hoops and loops and have people like you guys coming from all over to try to cover or break a story when we got local media right down the street that we see every day. They can report. Y'all can report murders and homicides, but y'all can't report a cover up. It don't make sense.
Well, I've told my audience, and I stand by this, this is the biggest government cover-up of the 21st century. Honestly, I think it's bigger than Watergate. Watergate is viewed as like the biggest cover-up of ever. If there wasn't a president involved, nobody would have sneezed. So Watergate didn't kill anyone that I know of. This not only killed, trust me, the state's number 12 is bullshit. There's a whole lot more people that have died, and there's a whole lot of people that are slowly dying. I talk to people all the time, cancers at young ages that they've had no family history of. You have people, Parkinson's, epilepsy. I just spoke with someone who now needs ovarian surgery. These were healthy people before this water switch. But if we go down the list of this cover-up, there's a common theme. Phones are erased. Messages are missing. We found out in the story we just broke that state officials were pressured not to release certain emails to the public as part of freedom of information. Now, and by the way, you're not the first resident, I've been told, can't get the data of their blood lead. So now blood lead is mysteriously missing. All of this stuff doesn't happen across multiple departments if there's not coordination. Mm-hmm. And it also kind of boggles the mind. How could the governor of the state not know all of these things were happening underneath him?
Oh, he knew. He knew. But at the time, it was election time, and he wanted to make sure that he looked good and that everybody around him looked good. Everybody was up for some sort of seat. So we're not going to talk about Flint. We're not going to talk about what's actually happening there until afterwards. After the election, we'll give Flint a little bit of time. But that ain't enough. That's wrong.
And the current governor, Gretchen Whitmer, running, she made a lot of promises to the people of Flint. I believe they're making a state park here. I heard they're making a state park. But according to Mayor Weaver, she said that when she was mayor, Mayor Weaver was pushing the governor for funds for interior home replacement. And essentially the governor told her there's Flint fatigue here among the state politicians. So I don't know, you live here. Has Governor Whitmer done a lot to try and help the residents of Flint?
I think what Governor Whitmer is doing is she don't know what to do, if you ask me. She don't know where she should stand. And as a politician, I can see why, because she don't want to be affiliated with this bad, mysterious cover-up and lead herself into something that she already knows about. But what I don't like about her is the fact that she says she's going to help Flint. Giving us a park ain't helping us. Doing what y'all doing, that's not helping us. Pushing for these interior pipes and pushing for funding for homeowners so that they don't have to foot the bill because they didn't do it. We put protests together. We put petitions together to get her support on that type of stuff on a smaller level so that Flint can go back to being whole. Y'all want this to go away. Y'all want people to stop talking about the water crisis, but yet y'all don't want to do what it is to help the people. You're doing what you think is best for Flint, what's going to make Flint look better, but at the end of the day, we still live here. We're going to still be an eyesore because we're going to still talk. We're going to still go to people who ask us our story and tell them the real about what's happening here. It's not over. It's far from over.
And there's so many elements of this that are scary, but at the end of the day, the most important thing, are the residents safe right now? Like, is the water okay to drink? From everything I've seen, the testing that's been out there, the EPA's testing, the state testing, it's either been cooked and manipulated, or they test 50 homes and declare the whole city fine. By the way, if you don't know, this city, the water system for this city was originally for like over 200,000 people. There's less than 100,000 people living here now. So you got water that's moving incredibly slow. It's stuck in certain parts because of abandoned homes. So right there, that breeds bacteria and other things. So who knows, honestly, if children are still bathing in this? We know because your kid's getting a rash. I just spoke with 2 people yesterday. They showed me they have rashes. Are these people creating the rashes themselves? It's not coming from the wind. It's coming from somewhere. So I think that is particularly scary. The other scary thing is, people are talking about a pandemic. You guys have had an 8-year pandemic. You're extra compromised to coronavirus because everybody's immune system has been compromised.
Exactly. I'm glad that you spoke on that, because Flint, although we were in a pandemic on top of a crisis. Folks didn't know how they were going to get water because the water line shut down. Folks didn't know if it was okay, can I boil this water and drink it? Because Ari, I don't know if we're going to get water next week at the water line and I ain't trying to drink the water. Is it safe to boil? I'm not an EPA advisor. I can't tell you if the water is safe. All I can tell you to do is don't drink that water. You know what I'm saying? So on top of us going through a pandemic, we dealing with the stress of a water crisis, the stress of a pandemic. People in an already poverty-stricken city like Flint, to put us through a crisis on top of a crisis and not address these issues and not address the fact that dang, Flint is still down there. Let's go see what's going on. Let's check in on this city and make sure that these people are okay. We're not asking for you to do something that's not in your job description. This is what you're supposed to do as an elected official, as someone who says that you're going to do right by the people.